everybody. Hope you're doing good. Today marks the inaugural video of me working my way through the points of the Deep South poster. Bunch of leaves in here. My oak is losing its leaves for the year. So, of course, easy to lose tools, easy to lose anything that I don't pick up the day before. So we got a couple pieces of coral that I picked out for this. I'm gonna do this one for the Savannah River. We might move on to a bigger blade out of this. You might recognize this from a couple videos ago when we spalled that entire thing and got like 30, oh, that's clay. We got like 30 spalls out of it. This was one of them. It's heat treated now and it flakes really good. So just to get an idea, that's what it's looking like on the inside. Look how slick that is. Huge difference from that. We might even make something else out of this. That's in the appropriate size range in case I screw this one up. So this is a really cool looking piece of coral. Try to get it up in here. It's not perfect. You can see where I took a test flake here and it's looking really slick. And this side looks good. This side's got a big weird step here that needs to come off. Kind of an issue here where it's just cut in. Probably nap this side off. But there's a good point hiding in there for sure. Okay. So let's get going on this. The only thing I don't see, oh, there it is, my brazier. Get that out. Don't think I need my big bopper for this. I think we're just going to start out with this guy to start. And then a braider. We've gotten some rain yesterday. I don't think we've had rain in a long time. Florida's in a big drought. Whoops. I think I read a article today that said this is the first time in recorded history that the entire state of Florida is in drought at the same time. All counties, everything. So, although I'm up here in the swamp, the green swamp, it's definitely drier. Okay, just taking a look at this whole thing. This is Pinhead. Awesome little red swirl. I don't even remember where or when I got this. This was just in the keeper bucket. And since there's so much cortex here, the point's probably just hiding in here. Okay, so I'm gonna start working this edge away, a lot of the problem spots, and then we'll work into the rest of that. I think it's a good plan. Definitely napping good. Don't want to hit into it. I kind of want to work down this edge, so hopefully we can work that thick spot off. A lot of cortex. Each one of those, there we go, hits though, it kind of compacts that cortex. So you might feel like you're beating your head on the wall, but you're actually, you know, one of those next hits that's going to do what you actually want it to do. Oh, look who's hiding inside. Beautiful blue. So maybe I do know where this came from and gave my buddy James at the nap in the only other piece of this that I had. Blue pinhead, very rare. Even keep that little flake. So cool. Let's try not to mess this up. All right, took that flake off, nice and smooth. But that's going to bring that edge to there. So again, I'll try to be a little descriptive through this process so that we do learn something. You can kind of see we got a platform set up there already. It's going to be nice when we need it. Go ahead and just buff that baby up, but we're not hitting it yet. We're going to keep working down that side. Right now, that's the low edges to this side. Let's do that. Hit another down there. Now it's going to have brought that edge back up to that side. So we knock a little bit of that brittle area off. Then we're ready to go back here. And we're almost up to that weird seam. And there's another one here. Which one should I go for first? I'm gonna hit this off. Just send one down the side. Felt good. Oh, wow. Didn't exactly go the direction I want, but we're getting cool colors. I'm gonna try this again. That went in this way. We want it to go this way. So I probably swing that way. Need to swing back a little more. And that went the right way. So we're gonna take one more, maybe off of the bottom side to bring our platform back. And we ought to be set up pretty good now to take this off. Go a little tiny more. The angle of that platform is very important. So again, we have a platform there. We got to hit that cortex pretty hard, but buff that up a little bit. There we go. Just had to get through it a little bit. We did. Just to get that ugly thick spot right there, but we'll get to that. Don't want to hit this thing too hard. All right, go ahead and we'll take our next attempt here. Just a little. I felt good. It revealed a tiny hidden crack in there. Only in this side, but I can see it right on that cortex. You know, which is the name of the game. Getting around the junk. Gonna work up towards this tip a little bit, because even if that crack's there, if we can salvage this, we'll be okay. We don't know how deep that goes. We're not trying to shoot any super flakes into here or anything like that. We're just working towards that crack to see if we can get under it. Nice little platform right here. Go ahead and set that up. If we look at it, I mean, the cortex is still really coming in on this side. So let's just go ahead and work this down. We'll take our hit on this side, and if there's a crack, we're going to see it. You can really see that pronounced now. Kind of isolated that little thing out. We don't need to wallop it. Still don't see any cracks on that side, so we may luck out. We're just going to keep working this. And we might end up thinning this enough to where we meet up with that seam. I'm already going to move down to this bopper. Wasn't that thick of a spall to begin with, but then also it's very delicate, very glassy. Some corals nowhere near this glassy. All right, let's see if we can just knock a flat flake straight. We don't want to go into this seam. Very beautiful, beautiful flakes. I love that. And that's getting down there. And now this is kind of a platform here, and that should bring us to the same level. Get this little bit of cortex off the side. All right, that looks good. Kind of excited this year. I'm going to have a little bit well, I say it now, but I should have a little bit more time to nap. Gonna do some teaching out here for people that want a little more one-on-one versus just watching videos and doing stuff at home. You want to come out here and nap in the circle and get some advice from me. We're gonna do some of that. Go ahead and take this while we can. I'm gonna take this right off the back end. Just kind of hit that little platform. Didn't quite remove what I wanted, but we're gonna catch that from this side anyways. But yeah, getting a lot of stuff planted on the farm, a lot of things fixed up. A couple off of this flat side. Once we run a series of flakes, we'll have a little bit of convexity here, and it's gonna run better flakes on the next round. So not entirely worried about the distance of the flake travel right now. That one went across. That one went across. That's set up pretty good. That one went across. Cool. And that one we flaked into the red and it stayed there. Just doesn't mean, sometimes it looks red until you flake it and all the red comes off and it turns blue. This one might have red and blue in it if we play our cards right. I'm trying to remove a weird little lip here. There we go. I think I just saw it fall off. And that's just so that when I grind this, I'm not sitting up way too high for what I'm trying to do. All right, we're gonna have to get that hump off, so we're working that way. All right, I like that. That's really low. It's not up, so we're not going to get a super distance on this one. But it was thick. Not bad. This side's coming together. This side, we really want to go ahead and take this so we know if we're going to have a crack through here and just have to eliminate that, or we have to know what we're dealing with. So let's go ahead and just do that right now. I don't want to hit into it. We kind of want to just hit flat and we'll see what happens. Don't like it. Never like seeing cracks like that. All right, we ran right beside it, right up into this little hump. Crack's still there. Seam, whatever we want to call it. But it doesn't, I don't know, it's not through the other side. I'm gonna I think sand that, abrade that again. I'm gonna give it another little tap. Okay, it's still showing itself. I'll tap this off. I went right into that mound, but that's fine. We're gonna take this big hump off from this side. This side's looking good. Really low. We just took all our hits there. That's fine. We flaked it, and now we're gonna work into this big mamma jamma. I'm not taking much off. You don't want to hit straight down. We want it angled in a little bit so that we're not left with a wall. We're left with a platform we can actually hit. All right. Platform's looking pretty good, pretty high, and what we're gonna, still not, it's not that low because this is a huge hump, but you know, it's gonna have to be low enough. It's above the rest of this surface. So we're gonna, I don't wanna basically move that lip up too much, but we do want it to be strong. Let's do that. And then we're gonna start, let's see, we're probably gonna start right in the thick of it, right here. I'm gonna knock this hump off. That's what I'm gonna go for to begin with, and then we'll see where to go from there. We got some of it off. And it looked good, but it surely didn't remove the whole hump. I mean, this piece is still thick. So sometimes you got to do this in stages. I'm going to go ahead and hit that platform. Looks strong enough and well built enough. Right when I say that. Nope. The second one took. But you can see this is still really low. So let's go ahead and bring it up while flaking. That's what we want to do. Good. Take this little piece off the back end here. What a piece. All right. Another one right off of there. All right, now this platform leads right up into our hump, so we're gonna go ahead and give it a wallop. And we walloped it all right. Right up into overshot territory. Not the best, but we're gonna keep working with it. Because guess what? Sometimes things don't always work out the best. That really ticks me off. All right, let's get through it, guys. It gives us a much more defined shape, that's for sure. Know where the tip's gonna be. Know where everything's gonna be. And that just is part of the game. And I probably did not have that supported the best for hitting a cross shot like that. That's okay. Now, the only other thing in my mind is still this other little superficial seam there. Because I know we can get through this and still make something cool. But if that seam gives out, we're just shrinking our territory that we have to do something. Let's see here. All right, let's see what we got going with this seam here. Trying to preserve all the length I can for right now. All right, then take another crack at this this seam here. We're kind of set up for it. Let's see what we can do. This one is the important one. We're going to run it right down that seam. And maybe I'll do this one beside it first. Do this one first. And then this is where we see, can we get under it? under it, there's still a seam there. Not on that side though. You can come down from here, which is not ever what you really want to do, but there's that big long edge right now wanting to come down. Brace it. Hit it. Kind of went down to it, not really. This is our point though, and we know that. So let's kind of eat into our edge here again that we overshot from that other side. Go ahead and take a flake here. Okay, just trying to ride this over to the other side now. So we're slowly bringing that edge up. But the main goal, I'm going to try to catch that seam from this side. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's look at this baby. Okay, we're getting there. Despite a couple issues. What in the heck? Yeah, well, we got down to that seam. It's still in there. I see a tiny little seam right there. I mean, what are you going to do about that? It's just, we're getting under it, but dang, difficult to get under for sure. Go ahead and take another one here. All right, that was a good hit right there. We got up in here, kind of thinned that down where we wanted it. Almost under that seam, so close. Looks like something else right there opened up. And you know, this, I hate to say it, but it's kind of common with some of these thin pinhead spalls that are right near the cortex. Have the absolute best color, but they also are prone to having some tiny little inclusions or little surface cracks or something when you get in there. And you just got to work around it, but it doesn't make it any better. It makes it difficult. I hate that. And then, again, what do? You just keep going and keep going. And we're going to hope that by the end of this, our skills and our practice and everything else leads us to a beautiful point. Alright, you can see we got a good platform there. I'll go ahead and take that. It's just so nice and greasy. thin the end of it a little bit. It was just looking like a little fatness on it. Okay, not the perfect shape yet, but we're getting into shape, and I like that. Of course, we can tell this needs to go over. Just want to preserve as much length as possible. Still a big point, though. It's not like we're out of the running. All right. And now that's our bigger, fatter spot. So I brought the edge that way. I don't want to bring it back up too much, but we want to braid it and then go ahead and start closer to the tip. Get one to run there. The next one's going to run a little further and ran out to there. Just have a little hump right here. I'll get that off. See that? That's looking good. But are these little inclusions going to get us? Not sure. We hope not. I still think this side looks good. You know, we're getting into the final shaping stages, so let's do one more down the back. That was nice. Go ahead and run that one right there. Nice and thin. That looks good already right here. Doesn't look very thick. If it's not thick enough to hit, don't hit it. Good words to live by there. All right. Ugh, I don't like that seam, but you know, we're getting so thin. We've got basically like a couple more chances, or it's just gonna stay in there or not and break. I'm gonna do this. We need to get this little hump off here. So I might as well just kind of draw it in right here a little bit. Oh yeah, that should be thick enough to get that off. Right over there. Send another little flake right down here. Just need to buff that up. There's our seam from before, so we're getting into critical territory here. Okay, it still didn't show up on this side, which is good because we're getting to the thinness we want. So we might be able to just like pressure flake it off when we get back to that other side. We'll see. That's good. Gonna knock a couple of these little deltas off right here. Okay, got those. Of course, this is a low spot right by that seam. I might be able to pop it off. We're gonna find out very soon. The seam is still there. Well, it's thin enough. She might be there in the end. We'll see. This is probably where it's going to break because I just see that seam right on top of it. Show yourself, seam. Okay, let's go ahead. We've got a little weird square edge right here at the end. I'm just trying to bop off. There we go. Quails are worked up today. I don't know if y'all can hear that in the background. It is springtime. All right, here we go. Right there by the edge, but we got all that off, which is awesome. That was that kind of that fat hump. So that was good. I feel like this just stopped here. It's not a crack or anything. So let's get this next hump off right here. Kind of little by little, getting them off. Problem spots, that is. Don't have to do anything too fast, too crazy. Okay, we're gonna just give her a little tap. Met up with that side. There's one little tiny delta right here. There we go. Got it. We got that little wannabe seam off that had just appeared. All right. Looking at both sides. This side's looking pretty darn good. I'm gonna give it one of those. And then this is our, so we got our flatter side. It's not perfect, but it's flatter. And we got our other side. And the other side, of course, is the pretty side with the blue and the red, and that's the one we want to work on. We're getting thin, so that's, again, byproduct of all this. Hopefully you guys are seeing that. Little delta here, gonna shoot that one over. Three-quarters of Flint Knapping is knowing where to hit and actually being able to hit that spot. You can look at posters of how to notch all day, but if you can get it thin enough, it all comes into to play. We might have to switch up what type of point we do. We'll just see. It all depends on these seams. I was going to do a Savannah River, but we don't really have a, I don't know, I can still do it. It's just going in more of like a big Citrus Hernando direction. That's okay. All right. Doing good though. We're working through some issues. There's that weird little seam here. We're gonna knock from the back. We're gonna try to work that off. Obviously not much blue in there if it's this thin, and there's none on that side. So we'll try to preserve whatever we can of that. All right. That looks all right. cool. Now, that's our main culprit here. Let's go ahead and just get into it right there, because that's the biggest ridge. And then we'll go right next to it, and we'll go that way, and we'll clear this piece. Main culprit first. Boom, we got that ridge. Blasted it off. Hit some kind of little uphill right here, and that's fine. We're going to try to go deeper on this one and go right up through there. So we'll see how that works. Didn't sound magnificent. I don't think it even took. Okay, let's try that again. Now that whole edge just crushed. That sucked. Ew. So that just did a whole lot of nothing for us. I'm gonna come behind it. Try to shoot a flake up into there to kind of get under some of that. I think I could still do the same with this, just to get under this little ridge of grossness. I don't understand what happened there. We're gonna try to come at it from this side though, because that's basically the only option. Shoot it off from the other side. Because to show you something can be going great and then not. All right, here we go. All right, we got that in the right spot for sure. Look at all this mess. It removed a whole lot of that. We still got this little booger here we can work on. You know what? That wasn't half bad. Just knock this delta off right here. Go. All right. This sure is an ugly divot. We're gonna have to figure that out. So we got to come in at least that far. This side's still looking good. Knock some of these little, there we go, deltas off. And then what we're gonna have to do is bring it to this side just to get rid of that paper thin edge, or it's never gonna work. We're never gonna get what we want. We took the shots off that side we could, and that was that. But now we're gonna go back to that side. So we're just losing a little thickness. I can take a shot off of there later. End is staying relatively thin. That's a good thing. Take a little hit right there. Take another one here. Again, the thought process here. It's the final point. So there we go. Just had to get that to run up into there to get rid of that little delta. Now we're going to move this edge back. So we didn't do much to that side, but we got rid of our paper thin edge. Working right into this ugly booger right there. right into it. That's going to be a platform for a future hit. Because I'm going straight down also, I'm not leaving a bunch of messed up little hinges. I'm going to go ahead and take one thinning flake here. Cool. Work on this edge of this stupid little booger right there. He's coming off. But we saved ourselves with that percussion hit from the other side. We call that a super save. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. And again, like I said, this might become a citrus. Gonna have to. I don't make Savannah Rivers all the time, so I have to kind of look at the poster again and see if I can. I don't think the top's the right shape for that right now. Again, we'll see. We'll see. But this is turning out good. Really pretty rock. Hate to mess this thing up. Man, if you guys could see some of the rock, I almost forgot I even had it looking in my personal bucket over there when I was looking for the video today. It was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Crazy. All right, booger time. Let's get this thing. We really need to. I need to take this flake off of here too, so I'm gonna work into here a little more. That's gonna be the first thing to come off right here. So I don't know if you can see that platform. It's pretty good. Wow, that really just defined it even more. I'm grinding, and it grinded this whole area off, so it really left me with a nipple there to go in that direction. I honestly feel like I could probably downsize boppers again. You can see that worked out good. Right out to the middle, flushed it out. Nice and thin. Could probably take another one right here and come in. I can just see it already set up. Didn't quite get the angle right on that one. It didn't travel as far as I wanted, but I'll be shooting flakes up into there anyway, so it's like, it's okay. There we go. That sounded solid. Set up that nice little nipple right beside it. What did it do? It dove in the same spot. It didn't go under it like I thought. Wow. Okay. Tell you what though, getting that base thin. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side probably. Let's see. I think I can. This is above the center line, but we want to hit this hump off, so we're gonna just do it, and it worked. You don't always want to go. I used to think you'd never go above the center line, but you sure do sometimes. They're just more dangerous hits. All right, so we've got this booger area, right? We're going to hit this one first. Maybe it'll set us up a little more, and then we're going to tap this off. Because this one came all the way over to here, we don't need the same angle on that. We're not hitting this long percussion strike. So let's do this one first. Grind it just in case. Thought I did, but nothing hard. There we go. Ran right into there. That was a nice flush, what we want. Now, this guy. Hit right on that nipple. It came right off. We're gonna beef up the castle walls, and we're gonna hit behind it. We got right up in there. Little hinge into here. It's okay, because I'm gonna take another hit from that side. Alright, not too shabby. We're down thin enough, you really gotta look at which way you're grinding. So you grind right. Nice. Nice. All right. There were just a couple little spots that I could see that were sticking out, and they needed to be taken care of. And again, for these points, I don't want to be pressure flaking for 3 hours. I don't think that's what the natives were doing. I think they were percussioning them down very thin and then spending a little bit of time on the details. Most of these points. There's some where they were super into the detail pressure flaking, but not as many. All right, I'm seeing a couple other spots just while we're finishing this up. Grind that flat. I'm gonna hit one off there. I'm gonna hit one off there. There we go. All right. Hit it too flat. It's not a good sound at this size. So that flaked off good. Took a nice little, you can kind of see how thin it is there. Let's go ahead and hit that one next. I'm gonna beef it back up just in case we lost anything. All right, and then we're gonna go for this one. That one reached way out, went all the way up into there. That's what we wanted. That's good. Getting thinner, always. And then let's think about this. All right, we got a nice little preform here. It's not perfectly straight. The point's probably going to be like that. I guess I could just do that right now, but I think I can do that with my pressure flaker too. Kind of tapping this off here. It's so thin that we're just kind of do a little slight angle. We don't want to hit back into it. And once you bring it down a little, we're going to probably want to flip it back over. Again, we're just doing a little trimming. We're not, there we go. Just to get that into shape without having to do it all with a pressure flaker. Okay, a little thickness on this side, so I'm going to take the first one close to the tip and straight across. Okay, even that little one, we're setting up a ridge for the next one. Okay, that one came right off too. Got enough for one more right there. Give it one more little slight. We don't want to do too much. Again, in series, it just ran right on down beside it. Kept that tip nice and thin. Still got this stupid little inner fissure there, but you know what? It lasted the whole way through. So we're gonna hope to God it keeps lasting as I do the pressure flaking on this. All right, we're getting at this. We're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. All right, let's look at this base. I definitely want to take one little percussion hit here. Should have done this earlier. It's okay. All right, loving the red, white, and blue. Hope you guys like that. This is paper thin down here, so I'm just gonna kind of round it off where it's gonna be. Wow, this could make a lot of cool points. Let's get this off. Kind of pinching it so we don't have a big shock wave. We're gonna get that off. And it's just a little thick. It's not like it's that thick, but we really want this thing to, we want it to come off. Don't over braid. Ran that one right up there. We really are that thin. That's awesome. Just looking, I think I'll run one more set down here. Just at least in this little midsection there. Maybe one more right down here. Getting there, and then we'll do some notching. Hope you guys are liking this. All right, that one went all the way over. It hinged out right where we want to get it from the other side. So let's get that sucker. Just came off the front of it. We got that, and now this one should be the money hit. Make sure we got that baby beefed up enough. And make sure it's not too close to where that other one was. There we go. First one missed, but that second one, you could just see it left that little nipple, and look at that. We went right across, met up with that other one. That was nice. Wow. All right. we're there, guys. We're there. The baby's thin. Let me take the tiniest break here. I'm gonna have to come back. I want to look at this. Again, you see thinness here. We got our red, white, and blue. Pretty freaking cool. I think I woke up this morning and we were attacking Iran. So I guess we got a patriotic point that just came out. Well, she's still a little wonky. You can see that edge is straight. This edge has got a long curve to it. We still have that one weird little seam. Got a lot of things that could still go wrong. For the most part, this ain't so bad. I'm gonna take off a couple of these deltas down here just to give it a little more shape. Chickens is obviously very happy she just laid an egg. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna pressure flake some of this because I don't want to hit a flute hit up here. It's so thin. I know I can just pressure flake that little ridge right off. Then if we get the opportunity, I'll do some more on this side. I'll take another couple percussion flakes, but and I still might be able to make a Savannah River, but I got to look back at my picture. Can't really remember exactly how that went. Maybe it was more blunted and came down. All right. Pretty obvious that this side was just not the right shape. I had to move it a little bit, and that's fine. But I figure I'd do this with a bopper before we get in here with the pressure flaker. And it takes me an hour to get the tip straighter. That is not bad at all. Nice. Still left our blue. Took out the two little high spots there that I basically have had my eye on. You can almost hear it when you're getting your flakes. I don't know if you guys get that. You keep tapping away and then you hear that pink, and it's like, okay, that's what I was trying to do. All right, we're getting there. That looks much straighter. This little edge is a little fat, but I'm just gonna pressure flake that into a platform and smack it, so that'll be fine. Wow, we did good on this one. All right, that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna take just a quick little break, and then I'll come back and we'll finish this sucker. All right, I said I'd stop. I'll stop. Close up there. You can kind of see there's that little seam there, but we're kind of out of room. There's not a whole lot of area. There's no seam here though, so we're just going to try to pressure flake around it. We'll keep refining this tip. We'll figure out the base. If we can Savannah River it, we will, and if not, we'll make something else cool. You can easily see a cool Hillsborough out of this, or a citrus, or a big Hernando. All right, guys, we're back, and I have decided I'm going to make this into a citrus. You can see it's kind of uneven now, so I just took a look. I took a pencil, and I'm like, all right, what's going to bring this into symmetry? And it's pretty much this, maybe a little higher. Maybe I don't need to go quite as far over there. But that's fine. It gives me something visually to work for. We're gonna get the preform back kind of right into perfect symmetrical shape. Then I'll work on the base, and then we'll go ahead and finish touching everything up. And it doesn't hurt to have a pencil. It always comes off, but you can, well, I can visualize a lot better when I put a mark on something. And let's see here. I got my little hand notcher. I'm not going to notch right now, so I'm going to use Big Bertha over here. And I'm actually, might as well file this tip real quick. Not the most fun part of the video, but let's just do a couple passes on each side. And the reason is, again, I'm not making it sharp, but when I push, I want these corners square, and just like the bopper, it will start to mushroom over the very tip of this apparatus. All right, we're good to go. Now just looking at the preform, there's a couple platforms on it already that I can shoot off at the end. Just want to be careful. I really don't want to snap the end off of this, putting too much pressure on it at that other seam on the other side where we saw earlier. So see how this works. Already pressure flaking off my little spot there, but I want this to not leave a big chunky spot when we get rid of that area, basically. That was good. That was good. So we peeled all those flakes up past the center. It didn't leave anything weird. Nice lenticular shape on it. So that's what we want. We don't want to just crush it into shape and have this big bobo point. Now we can slowly crush the edge because we already took the meat off. We're just removing the tiny deltas by doing this now. So like right there, I could actually take one more little pressure flake here. I think I need to do this first. Going to our goal, which is shaping the end. We already got this right into this good spot here. That looks like it might need to be pressure flaked off, so that's good. You can see it taking much better shape. Probably beef this up and blow a pressure flake right across that blue area there we're trying to preserve. We're going to just follow this little line. There we go. The edge, the platform, right up across there. And you can see it leaves one more right here. We're going to go ahead and do that too. These little areas, don't be afraid to abrade. They always say that. It's true. You get one shot at a lot of these spots. So you might as well braid it so it does what you want. Okay, just nothing hard. Just snapping that thing down. Nice and clean into there. Alright, I'm going to finish shaping this. That's nice. But the tip's still way over here because my pencil mark disappeared. It's supposed to work this way. So let's just start. It has to come down a little bit. We're going to lose the tiniest bit of length here. But we're not going to just crush it off. We're going to work it off. Probably. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to braid this and take a couple pressure flakes off of that back side. evening things up, but we don't want to make them thick. Don't want to run the flakes too close so they run into each other. They're coming out good so far. Got one more right there. Beef that platform up. I don't know if you could hear that, but it went ding. Sounded like a dinner bell. That is usually the sound that means you got off what you were trying to pressure flake. Turn this way a little bit for you. Almost there, because that's looking much more symmetrical. This little area here I need to do something about. I think I just need to pressure flake it off, honestly. And we're gonna flip this thing every which way. Try to make sure it's symmetrical before we go in and we notch. Because why get this far with a red, white, and blue star-spangled banner, awesome, once-in-a-lifetime point, and then have it fall short at the end? We're still getting there, but this still has to work over a little more. So close, so close. That little side right here looks like it's what we're gonna have to work on. Is it? I guess so. It's not much either. It's just this little hump out here. I'm more than happy to do that. Let's tack it. This is that weird area, but we're gonna get through it. We made it this far. We're just pushing off flakes that big. I don't know if you just saw that, like it's the tiniest little flake. But it's allowing us, by pushing that little flake off, it's allowing us to continue to thin while we shrink the bad spots. Or not bad spots, but I'd call it unsymmetrical spots. Fairly big, just trying to get a hold of it there. All right, delta right here, so we're just taking the deltas off. That's for sure getting there. Both of these sides are looking much more symmetrical. Not symmetrical yet, but they're getting there. And that's what we're working towards. Taking tiny little pressure flakes off of this razor thin edge to bring this into shape, and I'm trying to leave the tiniest little gap between them so I'm not running up on my previous flake. Oh, I like that. I like that. Just keep going. Okay. Remember, keep flipping, keep looking. This is still a little more curved. Excuse me. That's a little more straight. Probably easiest just to start at the rear. Man, we're thin back here, so we got no problem doing this. Get on one of those thick spots, you just let her have it. Oh yeah. Let's see what that looks like. Not too shabby. Okay, let's see here. It's much more symmetrical. It's still not symmetrical. It's hard for me to put my finger right on it. But I think I see. I still just need to swoop in some from this side. The tip was just not centered. We can fix anything later on. That's the cool part. Anything else we need to fix, we can do. It's looking better. Looks like a long, drawn out. Yep. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna do this to the end, and then I'm gonna come back and pressure flake a super sharp edge on it. But that's much more symmetrical than we were, so I'm liking that. We're still really thin. And now we can work the back and go ahead and put these notches in it. So the first thing I want to do is even the back up, which we're not even right now. It's very thin, so I'm gonna kind of flake off these thin places. I guess I should do this first. But being thin, that's a really good thing for what we're trying to make already. All right. So you can probably see this little weird fat edge here versus that, which is a straight, sharp edge. Let's do it. Now I'm pushing in, I'm going down this ridge, getting rid of anything here. And then basically, now that it's nice and thin, I'll bring it back the other way. And we're kind of zigzagging it. I guess that's the best way I can put it. All right, gonna have one long pressure flake up here. Seems appropriate. Let me grab my little mini piece of. All right, push one right up there. Like a skinny ridge. I wanted to come off. Got it. And again, we just thinned it out even more. Back over here, kind of pushing sideways. This side doing the same thing. Just barely catching this edge because there is barely an edge. Oh yeah. All right, so she looking deadly. I'm trying to think here. Round this in a little bit. And this little piece of Cortex, I want to get all this even. So I'm going to go ahead and grind this. Then I'm going to run a series of pressure flakes across here again. You can see a very thin platform, but we want this really thin. So let's just do it one more. We'll start the Cortex in the corner. I'm going to kind of push inwards on this one. Okay, it went right into there. Again, nothing serious. We're just making it a little thinner and evening things up. Right, try to speed this up a little bit. All right, we're getting a nice little base on there. I'll do the same thing from this other side. All right, guys, looking pretty dang good there. I'm going to go ahead and start notching. That looks a lot better. Okay. All right, we got that base on there. Now what we want to do for sure is space these little notches out appropriately. All right. Fairly good base on there. Still a little high at this side, it looks like. Again, the more even you get it now, the easier it is to mess with in the future. Looks pretty good. Again, maybe a little more right there. I think if I stared at these things all day and did this, I would end up with micro points at the end of the day, because I could keep chipping and seeing things that, oh wait, that's a little off. Oh wait, that's a little off. All right, I'm liking that from both directions. I'm still seeing that I'm gonna have to bring this in some when I'm done, which is fine. All right, all right, all right. There we go. Let's do it. Now, I don't really have a ruler or anything like that out here. I got a pencil, and I think that's the good thing to do is find something. I don't know anything. Let's use a leaf. Oh, there's segments in a leaf. Cool. Let's try to use those. Maybe they'll help us line something up here. Put one of them right in the middle of the leaf. This one's not the best. Let's look around for a better leaf. Let's get some really defined, right? We've got our different measuring tools here. Let's see what we can do. That's dead center. Yeah, we probably want to notch. These 2 spots. And that's off a little, I can tell. It's a little this way. So the leaf method isn't perfect, I'll tell you that right now. Let's do it this way. I bring it up level to the stem of the leaf. Make a notch here. This one goes away and it moves down a little bit to right there. You know what? That looks pretty darn straight. You got our center point right there. We're using that vein right there. And we're using that vein right there. All right, let's do it. The leaf has spoken. Now, I'm not gonna sand the heck out of this yet, or abrade the heck out of it. What I wanna do first is take our first little initial notches, then we can abrade. So we wanna get in there. I'm gonna do that. Of course I should do this first. I don't think I've used this much, but there we go. Not too much, but enough. Okay, I'm looking. I see where I made the mark on the other side, so I'm just going to put this on top there because this is the direction I need to shoot my first flake. And I got it right there. I'll work that out a little more. Let's go to the other side. Got it. Now let's look. Straight. Pretty straight. Hard to see this one right now. Gonna have to go in again. When I think about a citrus, it's gonna be a little wider than that, so we're probably gonna take another notch out. And I think I'll do it closer to the center. So we're just gonna widen that up a little bit. Same with this one. And we can always go wider later, but we got our first notches started. Let's flip her over. We can definitely see where we were. It looks like they're both low enough, so let's get in there, get this thing situated. Okay, boom, pop the cone out. That's what we want to do. Same on this side. Boom, pop the cone out. I don't know. There it is, right there. Okay, so now we're gonna clean it up again like we just did on the previous side. And our notches are gonna look a lot more defined already. And we'll see what we need to do in order to clean them up. make them wider, whatever we need. You can see them beginning. What we don't want to do is stall the notches. And that means you round that tip off in there, because that basically means you can't keep notching. So I'm going to stick this right in there, and we're going to take another one. Boom. And we pop the cone out. I'm going to do the same thing on this. Boom. We don't want to hear a crumble. We want to pop a cone out. All right, that's looking good so far. Still got good edges. You can kind of see the two circular cones that just came out. We're going to do the same thing on this next side. So let's keep it going. I think that worked, but to be honest, I'm not real sure. That did, because I saw stuff fall. And we don't need super, I mean, a citrus has wider notches, so I'm probably going to, yeah, just open that up right now. Let's look at these. This one's kind of going in a little, and this one's kind of going that way a little. And I don't believe that's what a citrus does. I think they both go in pretty dang straight. And they both have pretty wide notches compared to this. But we're getting there. We're getting these things notched. Just want to do it straight. This way. Here. All right. Get these notches in. They're not perfect. I'm trying to think about a citrus, and I know they're wider. So I think that's one thing I need to do, is I need to come in here and go a little wider. I'm just gonna go and knock this side out a little bit. Lost a little of the ear there doing that. It's okay though, because we're literally trying to blow this out a little bit, so there we go. Guess that comes with territory. Oh yeah. Just rounded that end out a little bit. Definitely do the same thing to this other side. So I'll probably go down towards the center on this one. swimmingly. Not quite as wide as this other one, and that's what I'm trying to get to, so we're matching. So let's take a little more off of there. Boom, bust a cone down. Still not quite there, but they're looking pretty symmetrical. I like that. I think this needs to come in a little more. And let's see, just a little wider. Trying to round that one out a little bit. Looks good. Yeah, that's not so bad. It's not too shabby. All right, just adjusting for visual. Go out just a little more of that. That looks good. All right, let me finish doing some touch-up with this baby. And we should be where we want to be. That's pretty cool looking. Cool. Go back to this and do some touch-up. Okay, straighten this edge here. Sorry, the finishing work takes me a little longer, guys, but I really am working on symmetry this year. you're flaking each of these and not just crushing the edge. Oh yeah, I brought that baby into shape. Oh yeah. I think it's looking great. I think it's looking thin enough that it fits the point type. I see a couple places that I'd like to still mess with. Do that real quick, just see if we can't straighten this up a little more. Oh yeah. Just a little more right here, and I think we're good. Flake them off. We don't want to. If you can, from here to here. Getting there. Okay. Pain in the butt, but worth it. Want that baby symmetrical. That's pretty dang good. All right, thickest point in it, not very thick. Couple spots I'd like to still hit off, sure there is. We're gonna keep going thinner and thinner, and this is more like a first stage citrus knife. So I'm going to I keep looking at things like maybe a little more, maybe a little more. You know me, if you know my videos, I might look at this in a day or two and decide to give it another re-notching or flaking. Looks symmetrical to me now. I might wake up tomorrow morning and it doesn't. And that happens. So, very unique. Nice blue little eyeball in there. Nice red. Nice white. That's pretty much it. Red, white, and blue. I don't get a lot of that. Absolutely beautiful. Oh yeah. Wait till you see this up with the light behind it. It looks great. And not perfect. It got a little hinge here I don't like. And there's a possible way to get it off right there. But I'm not sure. And then we're just going thinner. But I might wake up tomorrow and decide, boom, we're gonna knock that off. Either way, you know, if you can see that. Thickness, very thin, symmetrical. Base looks nice and symmetrical. Bam. Oh, let me, again, let's try to get this undone without shutting it off. There we go. Which is sometimes difficult to do. Kind of see the translucency. I'll get it inside and take a picture of it, but nice and translucent. Looks symmetrical to me. Come on, focus. Boom. Good looking point no matter how you look at it. I like the red, white, and blue. Got some raw pinhead in here. I'm gonna try to work into a Clovis later, but let's see what that looks like slicked up. Ooh, who wouldn't like to find that in a river? All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the citrus, first of Florida's best.